video is going to blow your mind. We're diving into the history and unbelievable value of a rare coin, the 1982 P Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. That's right, this dime isn't just a pocket change. It's worth millions. Stay tuned as we uncover why this coin is so special and how you could be sitting on a small fortune. Let's get started. First, let's take a quick look at the background of the Roosevelt dime. This dime, first minted in 1946, was designed by artist John R. Sinek. The coin features Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, on the obverse. It was created to honor Roosevelt's leadership, especially for his efforts during the Great Depression and World War II. Now, fast forward to 1982, the year we're focusing on today. In this year, the Philadelphia Mint, symbolized by the P Mint mark, produced a special batch of Roosevelt dimes. Typically, the dimes from Philadelphia feature no mint mark, but this batch, struck in 1982, was marked with the famous P. It was part of an effort to make this mint mark visible on coins across the country. But what makes this dime extra special is the unique circumstances surrounding the 1982 P dime. Here's where it gets really interesting. You might be wondering, why is this 1982 P dime worth millions? Well, the answer lies in something rare that occurred during its minting process. A major mistake. Some 1982 P Roosevelt dimes were struck without the usual copper-nickel-clad composition. Instead, a small batch was mistakenly made using the wrong metal blend, which caused a significant error in the coin's weight and composition. This made these dimes incredibly rare and desirable among collectors. These error coins are known as 1982 P Roosevelt dimes with incorrect composition, or sometimes even referred to as error dimes. Their rarity, paired with the mistake in their metal mix, has caused their value to soar over time. In fact, some of these rare dimes have been sold at auction for over $3 million. So, how can you spot one of these rare dimes? First, it's important to note that not every 1982 P dime is worth millions. To find out if you have one of these error coins, you'll need to look closely at its metal composition. The typical 1982 P dime has a copper-nickel blend, but these special error coins will have a slightly different weight, which is key to identifying them. To make sure you're looking at an error dime, you'll want to use a metal composition tester. If you're in doubt, consult a professional coin appraiser or a certified numismatist who can authenticate the coin for you. Now, you might be wondering, how much could your 1982 P Roosevelt dime be worth if it's one of the rare error coins? Well, these rare dimes can range from a modest few $1,000s if they're in good condition, to a mind-blowing $3 million or more, depending on factors like the rarity of the error, the condition of the coin, and the current demand in the market. To give you a better idea, at various auction houses, these coins have been sold for anywhere from $200,000 to over $3 million for the highest quality specimens. Now, if you think you might have one of these rare dimes, here's what you can do. Get it authenticated by a professional, and if it's the real deal, you could be in for a major payday. There are coin dealers, numismatic auctions, and even online marketplaces like eBay, where you can sell your coin to serious collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. So, if you have a 1982 P Roosevelt dime lying around in your collection or even in your pocket change, make sure you take a closer look. You just might be holding on to a piece of history worth millions. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin tips, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a coin that turned out to be worth a fortune. We're diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins out there, the 2018 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. While most dimes are worth just 10 cents, there are a few rare versions that could be worth millions of dollars. Stick around to find out how you can identify a dime that could potentially make you rich. The 2018 D Roosevelt dime was minted in Denver, as indicated by its D Mint mark. This dime, made primarily of copper and nickel, looks quite ordinary at first glance. It features Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, on the obverse, and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing unity and peace. But hold on, this is where it gets interesting. While most of these dimes are worth their face value, there's a rare subset of these coins that can command a fortune. In fact, some 2018 Roosevelt dimes have been known to sell for thousands, even millions of dollars. The key? They have unique characteristics like errors or certain rare conditions that set them apart from the rest. Error coins are often the holy grail for collectors, and the 2018 Roosevelt dime is no exception. Let's talk about some of the errors that can make these coins worth millions. First up, we have the famous double die error. This happens when a coin is struck more than once, creating a noticeable doubling of the date, lettering, or design elements. A 2018 Roosevelt dime with a double die error could fetch a substantial amount, depending on its rarity and the severity of the error. Next, there's the misaligned die error. This occurs when the dies used to stamp the coin aren't properly aligned, leading to a shift in the design. If you're lucky enough to find a misaligned die 2018 Roosevelt dime, you could be holding something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Beyond errors, the condition of the coin also plays a huge role in its value. A 2018 Roosevelt dime in mint condition, with little to no wear, can be worth significantly more than one that's been circulated. But what if you find one with a perfect grade? When a coin is graded by a professional service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, it gets assigned a grade based on its quality. A 2018 Roosevelt dime in perfect condition could be valued in the thousands, especially if it's in a perfect grade like MS-70. The higher the grade, the higher the price. A coin that's graded as perfect could sell at auction for over $10,000 or more. In rare cases, a 2018 Roosevelt dime with a significant error or pristine condition could even make its way into an auction, where collectors and investors from all over the world might bid it up into the millions. So, how do you identify these hidden treasures? First, check for any noticeable errors in the design. Look for things like doubled or misaligned markings, or even a flawed mint mark. Then, inspect the coin's overall condition. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal wear, are always more valuable. If you think you've found a rare 2018 Roosevelt dime, consider having it professionally graded. The value could skyrocket if it has a unique error or is in top condition. Asterisk, remember, while not every 2018 Roosevelt dime is worth millions, finding one with a significant error or in pristine condition could turn your small dime into a small fortune. So, keep an eye out, do your research, and who knows, you might be holding a valuable piece of history. Asterisk. Episode is one you won't want to miss. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 2010 Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. You might be surprised to learn that this dime, while not rare at first glance, can actually be worth millions of dollars. Intrigued? Let's get into it. The Roosevelt dime is an iconic part of U.S. coinage, introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. It's been in circulation for over 75 years. But did you know that a specific version from 2010 could make you a small fortune? Here it is, the 2010 Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. To the untrained eye, this coin looks just like any other dime, but it has a fascinating history and, in some cases, a jaw-dropping value. Let's start with a quick refresher on the history of the Roosevelt dime. The coin was designed by artist John R. Sinek and was first released in 1946, just after Roosevelt's passing. The design has remained largely unchanged, except for minor updates over the years, including the inclusion of a mint mark in later issues. Now, the 2010 Mint Mark Roosevelt dime is part of the regular series minted by the Denver Mint. In 2010, around 1.2 billion dimes were produced at the Denver Mint alone. So, why is this particular dime worth millions? Comes down to a rare error, a small but significant minting mistake. Some of the 2010 Roosevelt dimes were struck with a double die obverse, meaning the design on the front was stamped twice, causing the image to appear blurry and misaligned. Now, this is where things get interesting. A dime like this with a double die error can skyrocket in value. While most of the 2010 dimes are worth face value, just 10 cents, those with the double die error have been known to fetch prices in the thousands, and in some cases even millions. On the rare occasion, a 2010 Roosevelt dime with this error can sell for as much as $2 million at auction. depending on its condition and the extent of the error. Coins in mint condition, especially those with more noticeable double die strikes, are particularly valuable to collectors. So, what should you look for when checking your change or your collection? First, look for the double die error. Inspect the date and the Liberty inscription on the obverse, the head side. If you notice the letters or numbers looking doubled or misaligned, you could have a coin worth a small fortune. Also, don't forget to check the reverse side of the coin. While it's less common, certain versions of the reverse, particularly those with die cracks or other subtle errors, can increase the value as well. To confirm if you have a valuable 2010 mint Mark Roosevelt dime, it's best to take it to a professional for evaluation. A certified coin grader can assess the coin's authenticity, error type, and condition, ensuring you get the full value. So, next time you spot a 2010 Roosevelt dime, make sure to take a close look. You never know if you're holding onto a coin that could make you a millionaire. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more coin tips, tricks, and rare finds. Have you ever found a valuable dime? Drop a comment below and share your story. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in modern American history, the 2005 Roosevelt dime. But what if I told you that this dime, worth only 10 cents, could be worth millions? Stick around, because this coin has a surprising and incredible story. First things first, let's talk about the basics. The 2005 Roosevelt dime is part of the classic series that honors President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the United States through the Great Depression and World War II. Struck at the Denver Mint, the D mint mark indicates that it was produced there in 2005. Designed by John R. Sinek, the Roosevelt dime has remained relatively unchanged since it was first introduced in 1946. Its obverse features a profile of Roosevelt, and the reverse displays a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Now, here's where things get interesting. The 2005 Roosevelt dime, like most coins from this era, typically has a face value of just 10 cents. However, certain errors and unique variations have caused this coin to skyrocket in value. While the 2005 mint mark isn't rare in itself, what makes some of these dimes special are rare error varieties that can make them worth millions. One of the most notable error types is the double die obverse. These coins have a noticeable doubling effect on Roosevelt's portrait or the date. If you come across a 2005 Roosevelt dime with these kinds of doubling, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Double die errors happen when the coin is struck more than once, misaligning the design. For example, a 2005 Roosevelt dime with prominent doubling on the date could fetch up to $50,000 or more, depending on the condition, and that's just one error type. There are also die cracks and off-center strikes, both of which can add significant value if you find one. Some rare errors in mint condition could be worth hundreds of thousands, and in the most extreme cases, over $1 million. So, how do you know if you've found a rare one? It's all about inspection. Make sure to examine the coin carefully under good lighting with a magnifying glass. Look for doubling on Roosevelt's portrait, especially around the chin, lips, and date. You might also see a doubled mint mark or small cracks on the coin's surface, which could signal an error. One more thing to keep in mind is the condition of the coin. A 2005 Roosevelt dime in uncirculated condition, especially one with these rare errors, will fetch a significantly higher price than a well-worn dime. Coins that grade as high as MS-67 or MS-68 are the ones collectors and investors are after, and they can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. In some cases, the most pristine examples have reached prices in the six figures. If you think you might have a valuable 2005 Roosevelt dime, it's important to get it appraised by a professional. You can also check online auction sites like eBay or visit trusted coin dealers and appraisal services to see if your dime is one of those rare finds. So, the next time you're checking through your pocket change, take a second look at your 2005 Roosevelt dimes. While most of them are worth just 10 cents, a few lucky error coins could be worth a small fortune. Could you be holding one of these rare treasures? Let us know in the comments below if you found anything interesting in your collection. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible coin stories. We have something truly remarkable in the world of numismatics, the 1985p Roosevelt dime. You might be thinking, it's just a dime, right? Well, stick around because this coin might be worth way more than you think. Millions of dollars, in fact. Let's dive into its history, rarity, and what makes this seemingly ordinary dime extraordinary. First, let's take a quick trip back in time. The Roosevelt dime was first minted in 1946, just after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had been a beloved figure in American history. The dime was designed by the famous sculptor John R. Cynic, and it features a profile of Roosevelt on the obverse, a fitting tribute to the man who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. But how does the 1985 P mint mark fit into this story? Well, the P mint mark indicates that this dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, a key location in the U.S. minting process. The Philadelphia Mint is the oldest continuously operating mint in the United States, and every coin produced here carries that P mark, except for a few rare exceptions. But let's focus on what makes this particular 1985p Roosevelt dime so special. On its own, the 1985p Roosevelt dime doesn't look that different from any other coin of its era. It's made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, and it features Roosevelt's profile, the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing freedom and peace. But here's where things get interesting despite how common it seems. The 1985p Roosevelt dime has an incredibly low mintage, which makes it highly sought after by collectors. Unlike some other years, which had millions of these dimes minted, the 1985p mint mark saw only about 600 million coins produced, not a small number. But considering the rarity of certain key coins, this dime has become increasingly hard to find in mint condition. Over the years, some 1985p dimes have surfaced with incredible errors, further boosting their value. Now, here's where the value skyrockets. Some 1985p Roosevelt dimes have been discovered with significant errors, and we're talking about rare, striking errors that make these coins worth millions of dollars. The most famous of these is the 1985p Roosevelt dime with a double die obverse. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly, resulting in a doubled image of Roosevelt's profile and other elements of the coin's design. This kind of error is extremely rare, and collectors will pay top dollar for a coin with such a noticeable flaw. In fact, some of these 1985p dimes with errors have sold at auction for upwards of $2 million, depending on the condition of the coin and the rarity of the error. So, how can you tell if you found a rare and valuable 1985p Roosevelt dime? First, look for the obvious errors like double dies. Check the profile of Roosevelt for any doubling, especially in the letters or his facial features. Another key feature to check is the mint mark. If the P is doubled, that's another potential error that could increase the value significantly. Always remember, coin condition is everything. A coin that's in pristine, uncirculated condition will be worth far more than one that's been worn down from circulation. While the 1985p Roosevelt dime may seem like just another dime, its rarity and potential for error have made it a prized collector's item. If you're lucky enough to find one of these in your collection or at a coin shop, you could be holding a piece of history that's worth a small fortune. We're diving into the fascinating story of a modern coin that's making waves. The 2012 Roosevelt dime with a P mint mark. You might be thinking, how could a recent dime possibly be worth millions of dollars? Well, let's explore what makes this coin so special and why certain versions of it are turning heads in the collector's world. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away a year earlier. Roosevelt was celebrated not only for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, but also for his dedication to eradicating polio. Since Roosevelt was affected by polio himself, the dime, symbolizing the fight against the disease through the March of Dimes campaign, was an especially fitting tribute. Fast forward to 2012, and we have this simple, unassuming Roosevelt dime struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But like many coins, not all dimes are created equal. This seemingly ordinary coin has a few rare features that set it apart from the rest. making some versions worth a small fortune. So, what makes certain 2012 P dimes worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars? It's all about condition, rarity, and error types. High-grade coins, or those with unique, unintentional minting errors, often become highly sought after by collectors. For example, errors like double die strikes, off-center strikes, or unusual finishes can increase a dime's value exponentially. In rare cases, a perfectly preserved dime with no scratches, dings, or blemishes, known as a mint-state coin, can skyrocket in worth. The fewer the blemishes, the rarer the coin is in pristine condition. And here's the exciting part. If you find a flawless, high-grade 2012 P Roosevelt dime with one of these rare error types, its value could jump to 6 or even 7 figures. That's right, a small dime could be worth more than a house. Just recently, rare versions of the 2012 P Roosevelt dime with unique errors or perfect mint state grades sold at auctions for astonishing amounts. This shows that even modern coins have their place in the high-stakes world of rare coin collecting. So, how can you find one of these hidden gems? Could be as simple as going through your spare change or checking any 2012 P dimes you come across under a magnifying glass. Keep an eye out for perfect edges, clear images, and any strange patterns or marks. Those could signal an error coin. Remember, finding a valuable coin is a combination of luck, knowledge, and patience. So, if you love the thrill of the hunt, don't overlook any coins you come across. Your next dime could be worth a fortune. We're diving into the history, features, and potential value of the 2023 P Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. Let's start with some history. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The dime design was a tribute to his efforts and his personal struggle with polio, which inspired his involvement with the March of Dimes charity. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has become a staple in American coinage. While the design has mostly stayed the same, each year's mint mark, production quality, and errors have created unique and valuable variations. Now, what about the 2023 P dime specifically? The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's most active facilities, where millions of dimes are produced each year. While many 2023 P dimes look identical, some unique characteristics can make this coin exceptionally valuable. So, how could a 2023 dime be worth a fortune? Some incredibly rare errors or misstrikes could make a 2023 P dime skyrocket in value. Error coins, especially modern ones with visible flaws, have become hot items for collectors. For instance, a noticeable misstrike, double die, or other striking errors could easily push the value from 10 cents to thousands, or potentially even millions in extreme cases. These types of errors are unique and rare, making them highly sought after by serious collectors. Let's talk about what to look for on a 2023 P dime. You want to carefully examine the coin for signs of doubling, particularly on the date, mint mark, or any part of Roosevelt's profile. Also, look for any unusual texture on the surface, die cracks, or off-center strikes. Even slight abnormalities can make a huge difference in value. To maximize your chances, it's essential to use a good magnifying glass and have patience. Carefully examining each dime in your change or collection could be well worth the effort. Condition is also key. Even without errors, dimes in pristine condition or those graded highly by agencies like PCGS or NGC can fetch impressive prices. Collectors often pay top dollar for dimes with high mint state grades, which means little to no visible wear. In some cases, near-perfect 2023 P dimes with high grades can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. And if you're lucky enough to find an error on a high-grade dime, well, that's where the potential for millions comes in. So, how can you find one of these rare 2023 dimes? Start by checking your change, visiting local banks, or even picking up some rolled coins to inspect. Once you find a promising dime, consider getting it authenticated and graded. When it comes time to sell, you can auction your coin online or reach out to reputable dealers. Rare coin collectors are willing to pay a premium for unique finds like error coins, especially if they're in top condition. So there you have it. While not every 2023p Roosevelt dime will make you rich, there's a chance that one in your pocket could be a jackpot waiting to happen. Always check your coins closely, because the next $1,000,000 coin could be right in front of you. Diving into the world of dimes, specifically the 2017 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. You may have seen articles or heard rumors claiming this dime could be worth millions. So, let's take a closer look at the history, rarity, and true value of this coin. Could this dime really make you rich? To understand the 2017 D Roosevelt dime, let's go back to where it all started. The Roosevelt dime was first minted in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the United States during the Great Depression and much of World War II. Roosevelt had a deep personal connection to the March of Dimes, which aimed to fight polio, a disease he himself battled. The dime was chosen to commemorate his legacy, and this coin has remained unchanged in design ever since. The 2017 D Roosevelt dime, as you might guess, was minted at the Denver Mint. Look for the small D on the front of the coin, right above the date. The Denver Mint produced a high number of dimes that year, over 1 billion to be exact. This high mintage means there are many 2017 D dimes out there, making it unlikely for a standard version to hold much value. However, as with many coins, certain factors could increase its worth. These are mistakes made during the coin's production, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or missing elements. Rare errors can make a dime worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Coins in perfect condition, graded by services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can fetch premium prices. A perfect grade of MS70 Mint State 70 is rare and valuable. Sometimes, small differences in the design, such as die variations, can make a coin more sought after. Alright, so we've covered the basics of what can make a coin valuable. But here's the big question. Is the 2017 D Roosevelt dime worth millions of dollars? The answer, unfortunately, is no. Despite the rumors you may have heard, no known examples of this coin have sold for anything close to $1 million. Even in mint condition or with an error, it's highly unlikely that a 2017 D dime would reach that kind of value. In reality, a regular 2017 D Roosevelt dime in circulated condition is worth exactly 10 cents. For uncirculated or perfect grade examples, you might see values of a few dollars to perhaps $20 or more if it's a high MS grade. Unique minting errors could push the price up further, but we're talking hundreds, not millions of dollars. Use a magnifying glass to inspect for misprints or doubling on any of the letters or features on the coin. Look for coins in pristine condition. Avoid coins with scratches, wear, or tarnish if you're hoping for added value. If you believe you've found a perfect or rare example, consider getting it graded by a professional service to verify its value. While the 2017 D Roosevelt dime might not make you a millionaire, coin collecting is still a fascinating hobby with hidden gems to be found. Who knows, your next dime might hold more value than you think. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more coin discoveries, history, and collecting tips. And let us know in the comments, what's the most interesting coin you've ever found in your change? We're diving into a truly fascinating coin, the 2000p Roosevelt dime. Believe it or not, some versions of this everyday dime could be worth a small fortune. Could you have one of these high-value dimes in your pocket right now? Stick around to find out. Let's start with a quick history lesson on the Roosevelt dime. This coin was first introduced back in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was a major advocate for the March of Dimes, a foundation focused on fighting polio. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American coinage, produced in massive numbers each year. By the time we get to the year 2000, the dime had undergone some changes. Unlike the older silver dimes, which stopped being produced in 1964, the 2000p Roosevelt dime was made with a copper-nickel-clad composition. This makes it lightweight and durable, but the coin has retained the same classic design featuring Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and a torch, oak branch, and olive branch on the reverse. So, you might be wondering, why is the 2000p Roosevelt dime suddenly drawing interest and what makes it so valuable? Great question. While the coin itself was produced in large numbers by the Philadelphia Mint, certain rare variations and high-quality specimens can be worth way more than just 10 cents. One factor that adds value to any Roosevelt dime is a pristine condition, specifically a grade of MS-67 or higher. Coins in these top grades are highly sought after by collectors, as they're incredibly hard to find with no flaws or signs of wear. But here's where things get interesting. There are known minting errors that make certain 2000p Roosevelt dimes exceptionally rare. Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and missing elements can all increase a coin's value significantly. Now let's talk dollars and cents. While a typical 2000p Roosevelt dime in average condition might only be worth its face value, rare error coins can bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And coins graded at the very top, with minimal blemishes, have been known to fetch well over $1,000 in the collector's market. For example, if you come across a 2000p dime with a significant die error, like a missing torch on the reverse or a doubled image on Roosevelt's face, you're potentially holding on to a big payday. Collectors are on the lookout for these kinds of errors, and depending on the rarity of the mistake and the overall condition of the coin, prices can skyrocket. Some rare examples of 2000p Roosevelt dimes have been auctioned for thousands of dollars, especially those in gem mint condition or with particularly dramatic errors. So, how can you tell if you've got a valuable 2000p Roosevelt dime? Here are a few tips. Look carefully for any unusual features, like doubled images, missing elements, or misalignments. These mistakes are often subtle but can mean a huge difference in value. Even if your coin doesn't have a notable error, a near-perfect 2000p dime with no scratches, dings, or discoloration could still be worth a lot. If it's in exceptional shape, consider having it graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to determine its value. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of dimes that year, but only a fraction with rare errors or in top condition. So, make sure you're checking for that P mint mark on the front of the coin. And that's the story of the 2000p Roosevelt dime. What seems like a regular coin in your change could be worth thousands if you're lucky enough to find a rare error or high-grade specimen. So next time you're sorting through your dimes, take a closer look. You never know what treasure you might be holding. We'll uncover what makes these coins valuable, their fascinating history, and how you could identify one that might just be worth a small fortune. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had a profound impact on America's economic policies and led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. To honor his legacy, the Treasury chose to put his image on the dime, in part due to his involvement with the March of Dimes, a national foundation supporting polio research. Now, fast forward to 2005. By this time, the Roosevelt dime design had seen few changes but remained a staple in American pockets and coin collections. However, some specific coins from this year have drawn the attention of collectors in surprising ways. So, what makes certain 2005p Roosevelt dimes so special? In general, a coin's value skyrockets due to two main reasons: its rarity and condition. For the 2005p Roosevelt dime, we're looking for specific minting errors and high-quality grades. Coins with unique minting errors, like off-center strikes, doubled dies, or die cracks, are especially appealing to collectors. If you find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, graded at MS-65 or above, its value could be significantly higher. Some rare error dimes have fetched astounding amounts in auctions. While the typical 2005p Roosevelt dime won't be worth much more than face value, rare, high-grade versions with significant errors have sold for thousands, even upwards of $1 million in extreme cases. A top-grade dime with a rare error can attract serious attention from collectors. The best-known examples tend to be flawless, showing no signs of wear. Combined with a unique error, you could be looking at a six-figure coin. Want to know if your 2005p Roosevelt dime is one of the rare ones? Here's what to look for. First, check for the P mint mark, which indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. Look for visible errors like doubling on the letters or numbers, any unusual marks, or a partially missing mint mark. These tiny details can make a massive difference in value. Lastly, the condition. Coins in mint state condition, meaning they haven't circulated, hold much higher value. If yours has no scratches, tarnish, or wear, consider getting it graded by a professional coin grading service. So, is it possible for a 2005 Roosevelt dime to be worth millions? While most won't reach that level, if you happen to have a unique, error-filled, and high-grade dime, you could have a true collector's item on your hands. Remember to keep an eye out for those rare details and consider getting your coin professionally appraised if you spot something unusual. Who knows? Your next dime could be the one collectors have been searching for.